This is NSC Fan TV. This is Drew. Here's Scotty. Just coming out after that 3-2 win over Toronto FC, with us trailing the whole time. So my first question, Scotty, what do you think about us trailing? How do we play from behind, especially after that loss to New York Red Bulls?
Yeah, first off, that loss to the Red Bulls was really demoralizing. Uh, Consistently uncreative midfield play. Felt like we were regularly getting outrun. And so being able to see the midfield be able to, as you had rightly said, clog things up, but also be able to control things and slow things down, both whenever we could have gotten ahead of ourselves. And so a patient and intelligent midfield. Dax was able to slow up play. Sapong, despite the fact that it looked like he maybe could have been running faster tonight. Am I right? You had mentioned this. So.
I was actually about to ask you. That's my next question. What do you think about Sapong? I mean, there wasn't an opportunity for him to come off because it seemed like Baji wasn't fit. Cadiz was out on COVID. What do you think about Sapong?
Rios is injured. And so I think that one, sticking with Sapong was the right choice. He maybe didn't have the speed that he needed, but on the other hand, he played great hold-up play for us. I think that our midfield was set up to be able to play for that. McCarty correctly played a number of balls out for that. I think that Godoy intelligently played around. We rotated to the side. We weren't in a hurry with the offense. Now, on the one hand, that's great to see a team building that, and that's a very English. That is a very Smith kind of game. The problem that I think is that we just get behind and then we just chase the game. And it's only then that the offense seems to show up. It's only then that we seem to sort of on the one hand, there's a virtue to patience, but on the other hand, there's a vice to patience that it looks like we're playing Hamlet half the time coming through the game. It's like, to be or not to be in the goal, I don't know. And so here's the problem. If we can find some way for either our midfield play to play a little bit more direct as opposed to rotating on the outsides, and the outsides are great places for us. We play well there, but that is not direct enough. And only once we get really desperate, only once we're behind and chasing the game, does the offense seem to wake up. And that's frustrating as a fan. But on the other hand, it's great as a fan whenever it comes together. But then we could have had a Red Bull situation with them tonight. They could have clogged us up. They have the midfield quality in Bradley to be able to shut us down. It just didn't happen tonight, but it can. And so we've got to find some way to fix that. It may be with different forwards. Mukhtar needs to come, maybe play a little bit further back and maybe help out in the midfield, push balls forward, maybe a little bit more speed in the front. So those are some things that I saw. I will say one extra thing. I think that our two winger defensive backs are playing such incredible ball. I think that Lovitz has got a heart like a horse. The guy runs, the guy pounds, the guy has excellent vision, and I think that Alistair Johnson played such an intelligent game tonight. He chased balls down. He was able to pull defenders off. There was nothing glamorous about what Alistair Johnson did tonight, but there was something totally competent workhorse. And the last thing, kudos to Mayer, stepping in the middle of the defense for Zimmerman. That is huge shoes to fill. And you know what? Despite the fact that we had 2 goals go in, you know what? He played very well, and you know what? He had a goal.
Great. One quick question.
Yeah.
What do you think about Moyle drifting up? And did it take him too long to drift up? Do you think the 4-4-2 holding that so strictly through the first half helped? Or should he have came up more often? What do you think?
This is so English.
Yeah.
This is so English. And you know what? Look, kudos to Smith to making us play this English game. 4-4-2, but you're right. Sometimes 4-4-2 is a dogma. And I think that this team needs to be able to accommodate the fact that whenever you play the two, especially where our tours are playing, because Sapong and Mukhtar just love the middle. And so when they do that, all sorts of space opens on the side, and we need to be able to have our midfielders come up and cover that. And I think that was definitely happening with Moyle. It happened with Hackinson. It was one of the ways that we got one of the goals. Yeah. but I'd like to see that a little bit more consistently. You had the thought like half the way through the game was like, we need a 3 in front. If we're gonna chase the game, we need a 3 in front.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's probably right. If we fall down, we need to be able to push a 3. Maybe push Leal front. Maybe be able to get Moyle in the front. But making them stick in that midfield in the fours is cloggy whenever we need to be faster, and it forces us to go wide whenever we should be able to be direct. And so you know what? Seeing Moyle come up on the sides there around the 50th minute was great. But you know what? That was 25 minutes too late.
You know, and another issue, just to add on
Yeah,
quickly,
yeah.
was that the fact that 23 for Toronto was stopping everything through the middle meant that since Sapong and Mukhtar liked to be there, you know, he was really imposing, got over it, and we didn't have Cadiz, so the height wasn't there. So
The height wasn't there, and on the set plays, without Zimmerman coming in and crashing, we don't have anyone for that direct air ball. And yeah, their center back completely vacuumed everything out of